Pat, are you there? Hey, Sadna, can you see this on YouTube? Sadna, can you see this? All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with the call today. Make sure everyone can hear me. Dad, what up, man?
All right, Mike, can you hear me?
There we go. I can hear you, buddy.
All right.
I want to welcome everyone to the call today. This is the higher level call. We do this every Monday at 12 o'clock. Today, our guest is going to be Mr. Thaddeus Scruggs from Protect and Serve. Before we get into the training today, I'm going to go ahead and read through the numbers. I know last week was we had a holiday in there. The numbers were definitely not where they needed to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with people kind of not planning around a holiday and structuring their schedule accordingly. So rather than going through all the numbers, we're going to go through just the top. We'll do the top 10, everyone who submitted over 10,000. So for the week, we had Jamar Gallen submitted 11,145. Will Crandell, 11,471. Rakita Gorman, 11,832. Scotty Sims, 12,479. Mike Coombs, 14,670. Thaddeus Scruggs, our trainer on the call today, 16,202. Myself, 16,987. Ron McCormick, 17,664. Richard Moore, $18,110. And then Kristen Solis Romero, a total of 22,694. Let's go through our week one issue paid for September. I can't believe it's already September, man. This year is flying by. Let's go through the top 20. Ryan Urbanski, 5191. Leo Lampa, 5579. Kristen Solis Romero, 5786. Josh Force, 5965. Austin Smith, $6,059. Danielle Walker, 6433. Purcell. Yeah, look at that. Purcell, 6437, first week. I like it. Daniel Smith, 6949. Brad Murphy, 6562. Eugene Marshall, 7890. David Ramirez, 8426. Thaddeus Scruggs, 9127. Will Crandell, 9534. Bradley Regal, 9994. Scotty Simmons, 10,288. Ronald McCormick, 11,494. Yola, great job, 12,241. Rachel Canning, 12,658. Good job, Rachel. Josh Chris, $14,054. And in first place for all of FFL National issue paid, $31,073. Great job, Allison. There was a total of 148 agents who issued business for the first week of September. We're going to go through 50,000 up on the teams. We had Honor and Valor at 50,391. Pursuit of Happiness, 54,304. FFL Fury, 82,554. We have Entourage at 162,113. Allegiance at 194,730. And FFL National, 417,525. And again, that's with 148 agents that have issue paid business for the first week of September. September is a 5-week month. There's still a lot of time for anyone who has these goals out there. There's definitely a lot of time for us to be able to hit them. We've only issue paid so far. We're only reporting through 1 week, and we have another 4 weeks left. There's actually another 3 weeks to be able to write business in. So looking through the numbers, It looks like it should be a record-breaking month for a lot of people. There should be a lot of promotions this month. And again, when you have a situation like last week where we have a holiday and there's going to be time that's going to be missed, it's just really important to be able to schedule your time around that. By some of the numbers that I read, obviously, we got Thad on this call. He can attest to that. Obviously, there are people that took the holiday into consideration and then worked it into their schedule to be able to hit their numbers. So, Thad, I tell you what, over the last really 5 weeks, man, it's been a big change. I know you've been doing a lot of training on your in-home, and it's powerful. And some people, they think that it was just like a flip of a switch. Like you just learn all of a sudden how to do one thing differently. And Frank and I were talking the other day, and I said, you know what's crazy is I said, Thad has been doing this and working on himself really for the last 6 months, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, meditating in the morning, praying in the morning. And really just, it's been this whole mind shift set, that has changed. And, it looks like it was like overnight when things happen, but I know that it's been a long time coming. Many people, if they would take in the information that you heard, but if they weren't prepared mentally and prepared to take that information and do something with it, then it doesn't happen. It's just, you've made just such a considerable change mentally that when you started hearing certain information, it all made sense to you because you were mentally prepared for it. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100%.
Over what you've seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks, would you agree that what goes on in our business is more mental than the training or anything else that goes on?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Bar none.
It's incredible. Thad, well, if you can kind of go through and just talk about, everyone knows your story. Actually, you can kind of give a little bit of your background story, but if you can kind of talk about your morning routine, and I know you talk about this all the time, but I think we need to hear this stuff every day. If you can kind of go through your morning routine, what your mindset is, and then if you can walk everyone through your phone, like how you're thinking when you're dialing the phone, and then go through your in-home presentation. So people can learn exactly what it takes to be able to get the right mindset, then what your thinking is when you're on the phone, and then exactly what your thought process is when you're in the home and how you're selling at such a high level. And I hope everyone has, pen, piece of paper. I can certainly take some notes because you're doing things that are at a high level. And I can see you really are taking it to the next level. So if you can do that, man, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, I'm always honored to be on this call. It's truly amazing to even, be able to speak to and help other people do exactly how I'm doing. So I definitely appreciate that. All right. So a little bit about me. Prior law enforcement, I was in law enforcement for 8 years before coming to Family First Life. Brian Urbanski is the one who brought me in the business. First dial day was December 1st, 2019. And like Mike said, I've been through the ups and downs in this business. I'm not anything special. I mean, you heard before, I'm not great at this. I just work really, really, really hard, right? That's really it. So to start off my morning routine, there are 5. It's technically 6. What I started to do about 6-7 months ago is I came up with 6 things that I would do every single day, and it was just those small wins for me that I knew if I could do that every day, it would build up my my self-confidence, right? And that's really what this business is all about. It's really about just being confident in yourself and believing that you can go out here and you can do 14, 15 grand in a day. That's all it is believability. Because if you can believe it, you can achieve it, right? So first thing is first, it's 4 o'clock, waking up at 4 o'clock. Now, I wake up at 4 o'clock, not because it's something that people advertise on Fan First Life. I actually did research. I did research about how long a typical person is supposed to sleep, right? I did research on when is the best time to wake up, and there's a science behind that. So the average person needs about 6 hours of sleep a day. And around 4 o'clock, between 3:30, and look this up, between 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. in the morning, That's when your mind is the most active. So a lot of times when we wake up in the morning, we wake up out of our sleep like we wake up because we got to go pee. A lot of times we just think, okay, well, we're just waking up because we got to use the bathrooms. But our minds are actually ready to go. And a lot of times you'll wake up at 4 o'clock, maybe 3:30, between 3:30 and 5, you'll wake up and you'll be like wide awake. Then it's like, oh man, I still got 2 hours I can sleep. But you can actually get up right then and there and start working. You just don't feel like it. And see, that's your body telling you, hey, I'm ready to go. But it's your mind that's saying, oh, well, I want to sleep a little bit longer because it's not time for me to wake up yet. But see, when you start to realize that there's an actual science behind waking up early, it's not just, oh, let me go out here and be better than someone else. No, it actually, when you wake up early and you work out, that's the second thing I do when I wake up. You actually have more stamina. You have more stamina to run appointments. You have more stamina to withstand the phones. You mentally, you're better off as well. And that is what really catapults your business on a day-to-day basis, right? So the first thing is to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And listen, guys, I encourage you all to research this because that's literally what I did. I read a lot of autobiographies, and I started to look at what these high class people do, right, and why they did it. And this is why I'm able to continue to do it day in and day out, because I'm not doing it to try to impress anyone. I'm not doing trying to impress myself. I'm doing it because I want to be a better man, a better entrepreneur, a better husband, a better father every day of the week. So this is the way that it needs to be done. It's scientifically proven. Okay, so those are two things right there. The third thing I do is I meditate. I'm an overthinker. I think way too much about everything. When I meditate, it slows everything down for me. Helps me be able to compartmentalize things and put things in order how they should be. So I'm not running around here with my head cut off, because with this business, it's a mental roller coaster. And the better off you can with controlling your mindset, the better off you're going to be and the more successful you're going to be. I realized that once I was able to control my mindset, I control my money. When I control my money, I control my lifestyle, right? I control my lifestyle, I control my happiness. Okay. So that's how I looked at that. Again, that's also something that I researched. Did a ton of research on different types of meditations, yogas, all that stuff. So everything I do, there's a process, there's a ton of research behind it that I do. And it's trial and error, because some things may work for me, like my meditation I do may work for me, but it may not work for you. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing I do in the morning is, well, those are the three things I do in the morning. And then the fourth thing I do every day is I have to read every day. I either read in the morning if I have time, or I do it at night, at least 30 minutes. Okay. Read every day. I have to touch my business every day. Now that can be as little as making some recruiting calls on a Sunday. Doesn't really matter. And the sixth thing I do every day is I try to better my marriage. I do something in my marriage every single day. So those are the 6 things I do every day. And if I do all 6, which 90% of the time, 95% of the time I do, then if I do all 6, then I know I've won that day. So no matter what else happens, I could go out and have 10 no-shows. I'm still happy when I go lay my head down on that bed when I go to sleep, because I know that at the end of the day, my 6 goals that I had, I've already accomplished it. So I'm good. I'm already winning. Everything else is a bonus. When you start to put things in a way where you really simplify it for yourself, it starts to make your life a lot easier. It starts to make going out selling a lot easier, because you're not so focused on the negative. You're always looking up. You're always looking for the positive things. And that's what these 6 things I do every day, that's what it truly has taught me. It's to see the positive in everything. Okay. All right. So let's see. Phone script wise. So my phone script is very generic. I mean, you all have seen me, and I'll be on live dials at 12:30 today. But I'm very emotionless, and I'm me on the phone. So, for example, I'm calling an internet life lead. I'm like, "Hey, Bob, this is Thaddeus. Give you a call back from the benefit center for that life insurance you filled out. How are you?" And this is how I'm talking to him. He's like, "Good, good." I'm like, "All right, perfect. Well, listen, I'm just the person assigned to get this information out to you. It takes about 10 minutes or so. You tired? You still working? What's going on?" And I'm talking to these people like I'm their best friend. Like I've known them for forever. And a lot of times they just kind of go with the flow. And every now and again, they'll be like, so who is this again? I'm like, yeah, I'm Thaddeus. I'm assigned to get you this information for the life insurance. Takes like 10 minutes. I'm out there tomorrow. Now I see, are you working, retired, disabled? And if they say working, all right, perfect. Well, what time do you get off work so I'm not inconveniencing you? See, I always say that because I am in control. However, I'm making it sound like they are in control. So if they feel as though they're in control over the phone, they're more receptive to you and they'll continue on with the conversation. Because once I got you in, I got you in. And once you say, yeah, I'm working, or you say afternoon, right? You're the best time for you is the afternoon. Perfect. All right. Well, I got a 3 o'clock and I got a 7 o'clock. Which one works better? Let's say 7. And then you just book the appointment. Now, the biggest thing with booking an appointment that I have seen, my phone script really hasn't changed that much. I'm just more me on the phone, number one. And number two is my tie downs is a little bit different. My tie downs probably different than majority of the people here at Family First Life. But again, it's something that works for me. And if your tie down's good, if you're not getting a lot of no-shows, don't change what you're doing, right? Because this business, one thing I can promise you is there's never something huge you need to do to be successful here. It's only a minor tweak that you need to change. So get with the person who brought you in here or your upline or your coach and really talk to them about the small things, because that's truly is what going to maximize this business. It's nothing gigantic. It's always a minor, it may be a mental switch or maybe something physical that you need to be doing that you're not doing now, right? So the tie down. So I'm saying, all right, Bob, listen. So I got you down for tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, and I got this address as 123 Main Street. That's still correct, right? Or has that changed? I always say that, especially when I'm down these internet life leads, because a lot of times we'll find out that they got a different address. They don't live there no more, or I mean, I don't know where the address is populated from, but it happens all the time. So with that, they'll be like, no, I still live there, or no, I don't live there anymore. Well, I haven't lived there in years. I get that a lot too. Okay, perfect. What's your new address? Excuse me. So when you say, do you still live there? Is this your current address, or have you moved? What it's doing is it's implying to them that, okay, there's a possibility that they know that I've never already moved. We just need to update the address. And it's a better transition to, oh, this isn't your address? Okay, so what's your new address? Let me update that. It doesn't sound as smooth. It sounds choppy. It sounds like you don't know what you're doing, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing whatever you need to do not to lose that sale on the back end, because the only reason that they hang up or don't book an appointment with you then is because they don't trust you, right? So we want to build trust on the phone. That's where it starts. The sale is made over the phone, okay? Now, at the end, I send them a copy of my license, okay, whatever state I'm in that day, okay? Copy of my license. I send them a text as well, and it says the date and time of the appointment. It also says life insurance appointment with Thaddeus. That's what it says. And then I have the date and the time on it, okay? I also have a digital business card. I send that as well. So all that information is being sent to them right after I get off the phone. And what I'm telling them is, I'm like, hey, is this your cell phone or is this a landline? They're like, this is a landline. Okay, perfect. What's your cell phone? I want to be able to send you a copy of my license for your security. Again, they think that they are in control. The whole mindset behind this is, I'm sending them I'm number one, I'm sending the information so that when I get inside the house, they already know who I am. Number two, I'm getting another number from them, because if something goes wrong and I can't reach them, they're not home and they gave me their landline. And then I call them, and when I get to the house, like, hey, where are you at? They may be 5 minutes away, which happens a lot. And so therefore, I'm able to get another number and call that number and still keep that appointment live, because I now have two sets of numbers, right? Okay, so that's the mindset behind that. I have gotten a tremendous amount of success with that, as far as actually people showing up. That is the golden nugget for my success. I promise you, because it's all about people actually showing up for the appointment. The more people you sit with, the more policies you're gonna sell. The problem what I was having before was that when I would book 10 appointments, only sit with 2, right? So that's the biggest thing. Now we go to the in-home. Now, so
Hey,
I'm still
Thad.
good on time, right, Mike?
Yeah, we got like 8 minutes to do this in home, but that was huge. I know when you told me that a few weeks ago, I said that is completely different. No one else does that. Everyone's afraid to send a text. They don't want to do it, but it changed your no-show ratios completely,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
again, you're sending a text with the date of the appointment and time. You're sending your
Mhm.
license, and then you're also sending your digital business card. You said, right?
Yeah. And I'm gonna give you an example real quick. Today, I had 3 people who rescheduled for a later time today because I sent out the text message and they text me back saying, I appreciate all this. Can we change it to from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.? Absolutely.
You know they're going to be
Absolutely.
there. That's
Three
huge.
times. It happened 3 times today. Yeah.
That's huge. Well, if you can kind of go through your in home, we got 7 minutes left, and what the change has been. What are you doing now that is so different from before, and how you're closing at a high level?
Okay, so the biggest thing behind that is first and foremost, it is again, it's being you inside the house, right? And so when I get to the home, the first thing I'm asking is, okay, listen, what is your concern? What is your biggest concern? What are you looking to accomplish today? Those are the first 2 things I ask. I mean, I literally walk into the house and I sit wherever. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. If they're comfortable, I'm comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first 2 things I ask. And then they're going to tell you, right, that they're going to start opening up their why. Then after that, I'm going to ask, okay, well, what do you have in place right now to accomplish your goal? That's the third question I ask. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, nothing, or well, that's why you're here, or I got a $10,000 policy. Okay, perfect. But that 10,000, I'm here for a reason. So that $10,000 policy maybe is going to be used for what? Burial. Okay, perfect. So what exactly are you looking to accomplish? Well, I need to leave something behind for my children. Got it. Okay, so we're gonna set that 10,000 aside. We're gonna focus on your children. Right after that, I immediately just bounce into their medical history. Right, going to the medical history, and I transition. I'm very like, okay, this is what you need. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so my next after they say I'm looking for some coverage for my children, my grandchildren. All right, perfect. Well, Bob, let's talk about your health. How are you doing with that? Any heart attacks, any strokes, any cancers? Within the first maybe 5 to 8 minutes, I have pretty much gotten all the information I need. Now I slow down. So right after I get that medical information, I slow everything down. So my appointments typically last about an hour. About an hour and 10 minutes. Now, I don't rush. I take my time, and this is the time where I'm building up everything. So now, number one, I'm focusing on 100% them. So we're talking about if their beneficiaries, their children, or if their why is their grandchildren, then all I'm talking to them about the entire time that appointment is their children. Where they live at, what do they do? Can they afford to bury her if she passes away? What kind of relationship do they have? What they do this past holiday? Like, I'm really just focusing on the children, because what is that doing? It's building that why up. You know what I'm saying? It's building it up. So right before I show them, I don't have a lot of time, but right before I show them the different quotes, I show them 5 different quotes. Why? The more you show them, believe it or not, the higher their level goes of actually buying coverage and getting a higher price as well. So I'll say, all right, Bob, listen, there's no wrong answer here. You have a $10,000 policy. However, we already know that you want to leave coverage for your children, your grandchildren. We know how important that is. We know how much you said that you don't have enough. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. But there's no wrong answer for how much coverage that you need to pick today. The only wrong answer is not picking any coverage at all. Because if you don't pick any coverage at all, I'm not helping you. And if you pick a coverage that's going to exceed your day-to-day living expenses, I'm not helping you either. I'm not here to take money off the table. I'm here to make sure you're set up with the proper program in order to protect yourself and your family, your children and your grandchildren when you pass away. That makes sense? Perfect. All right. So, Bob, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you these different quotes. All right, you take a look at this. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and start plugging in your information, because we need to get you pre-qualified. There's nothing to think about until we get you pre-qualified. Does that make sense? Yep, perfect. I give them the sheet. I start filling out the information. Now, here's the thing. As they're looking at it, you got to fill out the application. And then you start asking them the regular applicational questions. I always start with Americo, to get that pre-approval, right? So then you're filling out the pre-approval. while they're talking. Now, here's the thing. If it gets to they get declined, this is what I end up doing there. I don't tell them anything. I just switch to a different carrier. If they get declined from America, typically I run to a Prosperity. I may go to Mutual of Omaha. It just depends on what they're looking at, or if we're trying to compare different coverages. But that's what I do there, right? Now, at the end, when I'm actually figuring out what they say they got approved for America or pre-qualified for America, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna go all the way down. I'm gonna fill out the whole application with America. Then I'm gonna get down to I think it's the second or third to last page where you got to put in the banking information, and you actually have to solidify the actual amount. Here is what I see. All right, Bob, listen. Remember what we talked about how much coverage. Now you let me know, how much coverage do you think you need that's going to help out your family, and put the proper plan in place to make sure that everything's taken care of. However, it's not exceeding your day-to-day living. What does that look like for you? Which coverage you want? Just like that. I'm expecting them to pick something. They'll say, I want the $25,000 one. I'm like, okay. At this time, I don't even remember how much the $25,000 coverage is. I have no idea. I just put it in. I'm just like, holy crap, that's not even the one I would have chose for you, but that's the one you picked. And that's why you give them multiple options. Okay. Now, lastly, before I know I'm running out of time, Mike, but lastly, at the end, people always ask me, Thaddeus, how do you get them to close and pay the same day? How I do that is I say one line. I say, all right, Bob, you want to start this today, right? You want to get your coverage today, right? And they're like, yeah. And see what it's very small and it's very simple, but what it does is I'm throwing it out. I'm assuming that they're going to start today and pay today. And 9 times I would say about 7 out of 10 times they actually do agree to pay right here and there right now. The problem is we always say, okay, so when do you want to start? See, that's the wrong question. That's the completely wrong question. And that's why most people are getting a lot of chargebacks, also getting a lot of post dates, is because they leave it up to them. But if you just ask the question, all right, Bob, so you want to start this today, right? And I always ask them that after I've gotten the bank information. After you get the bank information, after you put it in, then I tell them, then I ask that question, right? Unless they give me an objection, and then we figure it out from there if they're on Social Security. But I think that's pretty much it, Mike. I tried to speed it up and kind of condense it as fast as possible.
It's huge. You and I have talked numerous times about the in-home, and I think it's a super simple in-home. And I think all of us, I did a training the other day and I said, I think we just overcomplicate everything. I know I do. I'm a very analytical person. I come from, I have a degree in programming, and but I just think too much. And I think a lot of people do that, and they want to overcomplicate everything. And the way you did it, it really is that simple. And it's funny though, because you can teach everyone and tell everyone exactly what you're doing. But again, until people have the proper mindset, until they change the way that they think, they're not going to be able to internalize the information that you've given everyone to be able to go out into the field and do the same thing that you're doing. People need to work on their mindset just as much as they're working on making their skills better. They need to get their mind better first. So I appreciate it, man. I hope this helps everyone out there. Keep killing it, buddy. Everyone, make it a great day. We're all in here